Many adults have had to learn new ways to parent throughout the pandemic. Whether you're a traditional family or a single parent, you've had to implement new skills. And now that schools are reopening again, more shifts and adjustments are coming. Here to help us out is best-selling author of The Single Dad Survival Guide, Michael Butler. Good morning to you, Michael.
Well, good morning, Thalia. Thanks for having me on the show. Glad to be here.
Thanks so much for being here. Now, I understand your personal experience is what led you to write this book. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I went through a divorce a few years ago, and it's always tough to go through a divorce because of the emotional health. And as a parent that's going through a divorce, or maybe you're separated right now, there are so many resources, but you've got to take care of yourself first, like that oxygen mask in the airplane. Look out for yourself. But there's things you can do, like listen to your kids. Be sure they have two things that they need, which are tradition and routine. No matter what age they are, if they're 4 or 14, they need tradition, they need routine, even if they're living in separate houses. I would suggest starting with your local church. They're aware of all the free community resources where you can get mental health, counseling, adolescent alcoholism, and all kinds of support groups.
Now, you said routine is so important, but in these times, routine is so difficult, Michael, because we've all been thrown off. So how do you get back to that routine, especially now that kids are going to have to adjust to going back to school?
Yeah, school has been really a weird thing, right? So different school districts are doing different things. But I know for your viewers right there, there's things they can do with their kids no matter what age. You know, you can help your kids start a new hobby, plant a garden, create a movie, write a book. You know, it's the little things. Or listening to your children as parents, listening to those emotional cues of where they're hurting. You know, a lot of times if a child feels heard and listened to, it'll help them feel more secure regardless of what's going on. But those things, routine and tradition, and then also starting some new things to make them feel safe.
Okay, now I know you have 4 boys. That's a lot of kids in the household. Do you kind of tailor your conversations according to their age?
I talk about in the book the 5 love languages for children. And just like there are 5 love languages that we receive love and communication through our peers and our romantic partners with, also our children. And that book helped me more than any other book. And that's the 5 love languages for children.
All right, important information for us all. So bottom line, if you had to sum it up in a nutshell, Michael, how do we communicate with our children during these transitional periods that everything's going to be okay? How do we get that message across to them?
I would say, as a former pastor, I was not a licensed family therapist, but I did have counseling hours, and I would tell my parishioners, don't make a rash rush decision. Get the facts, get the details, come back to it later. Sit with your own pain and be sure your kids are healthy. Be sure your kids are being heard, and be sure your kids are getting the resources they need. We're parents, we're adults, we can figure it out later. Let's tape it up and take care of the kids and also take care of ourselves. It's never too late to do that.
I like that. Get yourself right before even trying to get the kids right. Michael Butler, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's been so great to be here. I love the show.
And we'll be right back.